The influencer couple's hidden abuse. Couple's hidden abuse. A domestic violence counselor watched their cooking video and left one comment. Dr. Patricia Chen had seen thousands of abuse cases in her 20-year career, but she never expected to recognize the signs in a viral couple's cooking tutorial at 2 a.m. The comment she left would save a woman's life. She remembers how that night began. After returning home from her Chicago office, she'd collapsed on the couch, exhausted, scrolling through Instagram, like she often did, trying to shut her brain off before sleep. The algorithm recommended a video, Sarah and Jason's Our Perfect Dinner Routine. The couple had 800,000 followers and had been sharing their lives online for 5 years. Luxury vacations, couple workouts, cooking videos that made everyone jealous. Perfect relationship, perfect life. At least that's how it looked on screen. Patricia hit play. The 12-minute video showed an evening meal preparation in their chic Chicago loft. Sarah was smiling, chopping vegetables on the marble counter. Jason stood nearby with a wine glass, making jokes to the camera. Perfect lighting, perfect music, perfect choreography. But Patricia's eyes were watching something different. At the 4-minute mark, Sarah reached for her phone. Less than a second later, Jason was beside her, hand on her shoulder. "Who are you texting, babe?" The tone was light, but Patricia had heard this voice for 20 years. Ownership, control. Sarah immediately put the phone down. "No one, just looking," she said, her smile not quite as genuine as it had been a second ago. At 7 minutes, Sarah wanted to check a recipe website. Jason took the phone. "I'll look, you keep chopping." The phone went into his pocket. A flash of tension crossed Sarah's face. Then the smile returned. "Sure, babe. You're faster anyway." At 9 minutes, Sarah mentioned a brand name, a new sponsorship deal. Jason immediately cut in. "We had that conversation, remember? That brand doesn't align with our values." Confusion flickered across Sarah's face. "But you said yesterday you liked." Jason laughed, turning to the viewers. "Sarah gets forgetful sometimes. What can you do?" Sarah fell silent, her smile frozen. Patricia paused the video. Her heart was racing. She'd seen this for 20 years. Isolation, control, gaslighting. But in an Instagram video? In content watched by 800,000 people? And no one had noticed? Patricia scrolled through the comments, 4,732 of them. Most were amazing couple, relationship goals, wish we had a relationship like this. Patricia scrolled down, searched, hoped that just one other person had noticed. Nothing, only admiration, only envy. And then Patricia did something she'd never done in her 20-year career. She left a comment, "Sarah, if you need help, DM me. I'm a counselor. I see what's happening." She posted it, closed the screen. Probably nothing would happen. Maybe Sarah wouldn't even see it. Maybe she was wrong. Maybe her tired eyes were seeing things that weren't there. But 20 years of experience told her something different. And if she was right, that comment might be enough. But the real story was just beginning. Because among those 800,000 followers, one more person was watching the video with different eyes. Emily Rodriguez had been Sarah's closest friend since college, 5 years ago. Before Sarah started dating Jason, they'd meet for coffee every week. Then it became once a month. Then every 3 months. Then just text messages. And those messages had started to feel different. Emily felt uncomfortable watching Sarah's new video. Something was wrong, but she couldn't put her finger on exactly what, until she saw Patricia's comment. "I'm a counselor. I see what's happening." Emily looked closer at the screen. She re-watched the video. This time she noticed the phone scenes, Jason interrupting Sarah at every turn, Sarah's frozen smiles, and suddenly everything became clear. She remembered why she hadn't seen Sarah in the past 8 months. Every meeting plan had been cancelled because of Jason's important business meeting or important shoot. How different Sarah's voice had sounded during their last phone call. "I can't talk right now, Em. Jason and I are working on a project," she'd said. But there was an urgency in her tone, a fear. Emily immediately grabbed her phone. She found Patricia Chen, located the profile from the comment, found a way to reach out. Because if a stranger had noticed something wrong with Sarah, then as her best friend Emily had to do something too. When Patricia answered, the panic in Emily's voice was immediate. "Are you the counselor who left a comment on Sarah's video? I'm her best friend. Please, can you explain what's happening?" Patricia took a deep breath. "We need to meet, and maybe it's time to get professional help." 2 days later, Emily and Patricia were sitting in a Chicago office with someone else. David Harrington, lead investigator for Dark Case Files, a man who'd been dealing with crime cases for 24 years, but this time had a different mission. Because this case wasn't about blood, weapons, or death. This case was about hidden violence, about abuse that happened in front of cameras, in front of 800,000 eyes, but that no one saw. "Sarah Mitchell and Jason Torres have been together for 5 years, Emily began, looking at dozens of Instagram posts on her phone. "To everyone, they're the perfect couple, but I lost my friend. Over 5 years, Sarah became a different person." David took notes. "When did you notice?" "It was gradual," Emily said, her voice trembling. "At first I thought, new relationship, normal. But then our meetings completely stopped. Every call, Jason was there. Every message mentioned Jason. And then I started reading the video comments." Patricia interjected. "I'm a domestic violence counselor. I've worked in this field for 20 years. And what I saw in that video are classic coercive control signs. Phone control, isolation, gaslighting. But in the open, on a public platform." David looked up. "Hidden abuse in plain sight. Millions watching but nobody seeing." "Exactly," Patricia said. David assembled his team. But this was more than just an Instagram video. When the Dark Case Files team got to work, what emerged was a 5-year system of systematic control and abuse. Elena Cortez, the team's social media investigator, began examining Sarah and Jason's entire digital footprint. 5 years, 217 videos, 1,089 Instagram posts, thousands of stories. Elena spent 80 hours watching, analyzing, finding patterns. Her report was 47 pages long. Every page documented another form of control. From video 1 to video 30, Sarah talks in every video, shares her own ideas. Elena explained during her presentation to the team. Starting with video 31, Jason begins interrupting. By video 50, Sarah's sentences are left unfinished. Jason completes them. Sam Reeves, the team's digital forensics expert, went deeper. After getting permission to examine Sarah's phone, computer, and accounts, once Sarah finally asked for help, what he found was horrifying. Jason installed 3 different tracking apps on Sarah's phone, Sam said, showing screenshots. GPS tracking, message reading, call logs. Every move Sarah makes is recorded. 24 hours, 7 days. Marcus Chen, the team's criminal psychologist, analyzed the findings. "This is a textbook example of coercive control. No physical violence, but psychological control at every level. Financial abuse, social isolation, technological surveillance, public image management." David looked at the team. "How do we reach Sarah? Jason's always with her." Patricia leaned forward. "I already have." She read Sarah's message to Patricia. "I want help, but I don't know how. Everything's tied to him. My accounts, my home, my career. He said if I leave, he'll delete everything. 5 years of work gone with one click." David's face hardened. He'd been investigating crimes for 24 years. Murders, robberies, organized crime. But this was different. The victim couldn't escape because the chains were invisible. 800,000 people were watching, but nobody saw. "Okay," David said. "Then we'll make the chains visible." The plan was simple, but required precision. Patricia would have secret sessions with Sarah under the guise of therapy. Emily would reconnect with Sarah under the cover of old friendship. Elena would collect digital evidence. Sam would analyze financial records. And David would coordinate everything until Sarah could leave safely. But there was one problem. Jason. Jake Morrison, the team's field investigator and former Detroit detective, examined Jason Torres, 31 years old, self-described social media manager and content creator. But in reality, someone who controlled Sarah's life, stole her earnings, restricted her freedom. "I looked at Jason's financial records," Jake said. "Over the past 5 years, Sarah and Jason's collaborative work generated $2.7 million in revenue. Do you know how much Sarah saw? Zero." David frowned. "How is it zero?" "All sponsorship payments go to an LLC Jason created, called Torres Media Management. Sarah's signature is on the paperwork, but Jason controls the accounts. He gives Sarah $3,000 monthly spending money from her own earnings. $3,000 out of $2.7 million. Marcus shook his head. "Financial abuse, making the victim completely economically dependent. She can't leave because she has no money. She doesn't even know she has money." Elena added, "And worse, Jason has all the social media account passwords. Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. If Sarah leaves, Jason can continue managing these accounts alone, or, like he said, delete them. Digital hostage," Sam said. "Sarah's identity, career, income, social life, everything's under Jason's control. And worst of all, it all looks legal. No marriage, but long-term partnership. Signatures exist. Agreements exist." David clasped his hands. "So if Sarah leaves, Jason might legally have the right to withhold some of it?" "Possibly," Jake said. "Illinois doesn't have common law marriage, but there could be a partnership claim. If Jason gets a good lawyer, it could take years. Courts get involved." "And what does Sarah do during that time?" Emily asked, her voice trembling with anger. "Stay without a career, without money, without identity." David stood. "No, we'll give her the time and resources to start over. But first, Sarah needs to leave safely, and then we'll show everyone Jason Torres's true face." But getting Sarah out safely was harder than they thought, because Jason always seemed to be one step ahead. During Patricia's third therapy session with Sarah, Sarah revealed something while trembling. "Last night, Jason asked me, 'Who are you talking to?' he said. 'There's a counselor following you,' he said. He was talking about the Instagram comment, Patricia's comment." Patricia's heart sank. "What did he do to you?" "Nothing. Physically, just looked. That look." "I hope she's not giving you wrong ideas," he said. "We're a happy couple, aren't we, Sarah? People are jealous of us, trying to cause problems. And I said yes, we're happy." Patricia took notes. "Sarah, this is gaslighting. He's distorting reality, trying to change your perception." "I know," Sarah said, tears in her eyes. "But knowing doesn't stop it. He's been doing this for 5 years. Sometimes I really wonder if I'm the problem. Maybe we really are happy and I'm just—" "No," Patricia said firmly. "You're not the problem. Abuse is the problem. And we're getting you out of here." "But how?" Jason was monitoring Sarah's every move. Her phone, location, spending, people she talked to. Sarah couldn't take a step without Jason knowing. Sam Reeves found the solution. "We'll give her a clean phone, unregistered, untraceable, but we'll be careful. Any sudden change might make Jason suspicious." The plan was complex but necessary. Elena contacted one of Sarah's sponsors. "You need to reach Sarah directly, without Jason knowing. A new campaign offer, but only with Sarah. Arrange a branding meeting." The sponsor, Global Glam Beauty, agreed. They already had suspicions. 6 months ago, they'd paid Sarah $50,000, but the payment went to Jason's account. The accounting department had thought that wasn't normal. The meeting was arranged. Jason wanted to come too, but the brand was clear. Sarah only, personal branding meeting, not open to managers. Jason wasn't happy, but money was involved. He allowed it. Of course, the tracking app on Sarah's phone was active. On the day of the meeting, Sarah went to Global Glam's Chicago office. But in the conference room, it wasn't brand managers waiting. It was the Dark Case Files team. David, Patricia, Elena, Marcus, and a lawyer, Lisa Brennan, family law specialist. When Sarah entered, she was shocked. "What? What is this?" "Sarah," David said gently but firmly, "please sit. We have a lot to talk about, and we don't have much time." Sarah sat, her hands trembling. "Jason knows I'm here. If I stay too long—" "We know," Elena said. "You have 45 minutes, so let's talk fast." Attorney Lisa leaned forward. "Sarah, over the past 5 years, you and Jason's collaborative work generated $2.7 million in revenue. How much of that did you see?" Sarah's eyes widened. 2.7. "What?" "Million," Lisa said. "You didn't see any of it, did you?" Sarah shook her head, unable to speak. "Jason collects all the income through Torres Media Management LLC. Your signature is on the paperwork, but you can't access the accounts." "No," Sarah whispered. "Jason said he's managing our money. Said he's better at it. Said I'm bad with money. I ask him when I need something." Marcus interjected. "Sarah, this is financial abuse. He's cutting off your access to your money, making you dependent. You can't leave because you don't even know you have money." Sam turned the screen around, showing financial records. 5 years, every payment, every sponsorship, all here, money that's rightfully yours. Sarah looked at the screen, tears streaming down her face. I didn't know. I didn't know there was so much." Elena spoke softly. "Sarah, there's something else I need to share with you. I watched all your videos from the past 5 years, 217 videos, and I noticed something." She started playing a video montage on her screen. Sarah and Jason, chronologically. Early videos, Sarah talking, strong, confident. End of year 1, Jason starts interrupting. Year 2, Sarah's sentences left unfinished. Year 3, Sarah looks to Jason for approval before speaking to camera. Year 4, Sarah mostly smiles but doesn't speak. Year 5, Sarah's voice rarely heard in videos. "Over 5 years you disappear," Elena said. "Slowly but constantly. And 800,000 people watch but nobody sees. Because Jason does this skillfully. On the surface everything's perfect. But underneath," Sarah watched the screen, watched herself. She saw the strong, joyful woman in the first videos. Then, slowly fading, shrinking, becoming a shadow of a woman. And in that moment, she saw everything. But seeing wasn't enough. Sarah wanted to leave. For the first time in 5 years, she really wanted to, but she was afraid. "If I leave," Sarah said, her voice trembling, "Jason will delete everything. The accounts, the videos, 5 years of work. He threatened me. I tried to leave 3 times. All 3 times he brought me back. He showed me the account deletion screen. 1 click," he said, "and 5 years disappear. Who are you without me, Sarah? Without me, you're just Jason's ex-girlfriend." David leaned forward. "Sarah, that's a bluff. Those accounts are yours, legally yours. Jason can't delete them." "But he has the passwords," Sarah countered. Sam interjected. "We can get the passwords back. Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. They all have account recovery procedures, identity verification, legal documents. Jason shouldn't have access to your accounts without your permission anyway." Attorney Lisa added, "And if he deletes or changes those accounts, that's sabotage. Digital asset theft is a crime in Illinois. We can sue him." Sarah nodded, but was still afraid. "What if physically, what if he does something to me?" Jake Morrison spoke, his voice carrying calm but determined authority. "I worked Detroit PD for 26 years, saw domestic violence cases. Jason hasn't used physical violence yet, but the moment he threatens, we'll be ready. We'll get a restraining order. We'll provide 24/7 protection. You'll be safe." Patricia touched Sarah's hand. "Sarah, you're not alone. Everyone in this room is here for you. But the decision is yours. We can't force you. But I want you to know that if you want to leave, we're with you. Every step." Sarah wiped her tears. 5 years. For 5 years, Jason had told her, "You're nothing without me. You can't succeed without me. I made you famous, And Sarah had believed it, because when it's said slowly, repeated over and over, people believe. But now in this room, all these people were telling her something different. You're strong, you're talented, you're independent. Sarah took a deep breath and made the hardest decision of her life. I want to leave. The next 2 weeks were careful planning. Sarah continued her daily routine, not giving Jason any reason to suspect, but secretly, through the clean phone, she coordinated with the team. Elena documented all of Sarah's digital assets. Every video, every post, every comment, evidence. Sam collected financial records. Every payment, every sponsorship, every cent, evidence. Marcus held therapy sessions with Sarah, documenting psychological abuse, evidence. Lisa prepared legal paperwork, restraining order, account access lawsuits, financial rights claims, evidence. And Jake made a plan for Sarah to leave safely. The day was chosen. Sarah would leave home for a brand meeting, but actually go to a pre-arranged safe location, Emily's brother's house, an address Jason didn't know. There she'd meet with attorney Lisa, sign all legal documents, and official notification would be given to Jason. But plans never go perfectly. On the morning of departure, Sarah got ready. Her heart was pounding, but she was calm. Jason was in the kitchen making coffee, the daily routine. "You have a meeting today, right?" he asked in a casual tone. "Yes," Sarah said, keeping her voice steady. "Global Glam, new campaign." Jason nodded. "Should we make lasagna for dinner? Your favorite?" Sarah froze. In 5 years, Jason had never asked about Sarah's favorite meal, never said, "What do you want?" He always made the decisions. Was this a test? "Yes, that works," Sarah said, trying to appear as normal as possible. Jason smiled. "Great. See you tonight then." He approached, kissed Sarah. But while kissing, he whispered, very slowly, very quietly, "I know where you're going, Sarah, and I'll bring you back." Sarah's blood ran cold. Jason turned, took his coffee, as if he'd said nothing, "Have a good meeting," and went to his room. Sarah was trembling. She grabbed the clean phone, texted David. Jason knows he knows. David's response came instantly. "Changing the plan. Jake will be there in 5 minutes. Leave." But leaving was much harder than anyone thought, because as Sarah headed for the door, Jason appeared right there. "Where are you going?" His tone was calm, but his eyes weren't. "To the meeting I told you," Sarah said, trying to keep her voice steady. Jason smiled, but this smile froze Sarah's insides. "Which meeting, Sarah?" "I called Global Glam. There's no meeting today." "Interesting, isn't it?" Sarah backed away. I must have said the wrong day." "No," Jason cut in, approaching. "You lied to me. In 5 years you never lied. But now you are." "Why, Sarah? Who convinced you to do this?" "No one convinced me." "That counselor?" Jason's voice started rising. "I saw that comment. That woman is confusing you, trying to separate us. Don't you see? We're happy, Sarah. We're a perfect couple. 800,000 people watch us. Everyone loves us. Why do you want to ruin this?" Sarah took a deep breath. And for the first time in 5 years, she told the truth. "Because I'm unhappy, Jason." Jason's face changed. Shock, then anger, then control. "Unhappy? You can't be unhappy. I make you happy. I gave you everything. Home, career, life. Who were you without me, Sarah? Nothing. I created you." "No," Sarah said, her voice trembling but determined. "You destroyed me, slowly a little more each day. But now I can see, and I'm leaving." Jason's eyes narrowed. "You're not leaving." He pulled out his phone, opened Sarah's Instagram account. "See? Account deletion button. If I press this, 5 years gone. All your followers, all your sponsors, all your life. Delete button." Sarah's heart was pounding. 5 years, everything. But then she remembered David's words. "That's a bluff. Those accounts are yours. Press it," Sarah said. Jason's finger froze on the button. "What?" "Press it," Sarah repeated, stronger this time. Press that button, Jason. See what happens. Because I'm not afraid anymore. Those accounts are mine. That money is mine. And most importantly, my life is mine. You can't steal it. Jason threw the phone in rage. You're not going anywhere? Right then. The door knocked, but didn't just knock, it kicked open. Jake Morrison, 2 police officers behind him. Sarah Mitchell, you're safe. Jason Torres, let me see your hands. Jason backed away. What's going on? This is my home. Jake pulled out a document. Emergency restraining order. Sarah Mitchell has filed charges of threatened violence against you. Previous threat records, messages, voice recordings have been submitted as evidence. You will stay 500 feet away from Sarah. This is ridiculous, Jason shouted. Sarah, tell them, we're a happy couple. Don't they see our videos? Sarah looked at Jason, the man she'd feared for 5 years. But now she saw only someone small, pathetic, losing control. The videos were lies, Jason. All of them. But now, everyone will see the truth. Sarah walked out with Jake and the officers. Outside, David, Patricia, and Emily were waiting. When Sarah saw Emily, she ran, threw herself into her friend's arms. For the first time in 5 years, a real embrace. A free embrace. But the story didn't end here, because Jason Torres wouldn't give up that easily. The next 48 hours were chaos. Jason posted an Instagram video claiming Sarah had betrayed him, that the breakup was a misunderstanding, that they could fix this. The 800,000 followers were shocked. Comments were divided. Some supported Jason. Couples fight, this is normal. Others supported Sarah. She finally escaped. Congratulations. But then Elena Cortez took action. Dark Case Files posted a video on their official channel. Title: The Perfect Couple's Real Face. Hidden Abuse on Social Media. The video showed Elena's 80-hour analysis, 217 videos, side by side, Sarah slowly disappearing, Jason taking control, financial records, tracking apps, threatening messages, everything. And most importantly, it showed Patricia Chen's comment, "I'm a counselor. I see what's happening." The video went viral, 8 million views in 24 hours. Comments changed. Now everyone could see. Jason's control tactics, Sarah's disappearance, the reality behind the perfect couple. But Jason still didn't give up. And what he did next would land him in jail. There was a restraining order. He was to stay 500 feet away. But Jason didn't care. The first night, he parked outside the house where Sarah was staying. If Jake's protection hadn't been there, he would have knocked on the door. The second night, Jason sent Sarah 47 messages. "I'm sorry. I love you. Please come back. Then you're making a mistake. You'll regret this. You're nothing without me." Sam recorded every message. Evidence. The third night, Jason posted something suggestive about Sarah on Instagram. Sometimes people can't see what's good for them. They're being manipulated. But the truth always comes out. Attempting to gaslight Sarah to his 800,000 followers. Elena recorded that too. Evidence. The fourth night, Jason crossed the line. He came all the way to the house where Sarah was staying. Didn't knock, but waited outside for 3 hours. Jake noticed, called the police. Jason was arrested. Restraining order violation. But even while being arrested, he shouted, "Sarah! Sarah! Look at me! We can work this out, please!" Sarah watched from the window. Jake was beside her. "Better if you don't look," Jake said. "He's just trying to control you." Sarah stepped away from the window. "I know," she said, "but still, 5 years. I loved him. At least in the beginning I loved him. When did it change?" Marcus Chen had addressed this question in therapy sessions with Sarah. Maybe it never changed. Maybe Jason was always like this. But he showed it slowly. Perfect boyfriend at first, then a bit controlling, then more. And you normalized each step. Because slow change isn't noticed. Boiling frog syndrome. If you heat the water slowly, the frog doesn't realize it's boiling. Sarah held back tears. "So then was I stupid? Why couldn't I see? No, Patricia said firmly. You're a victim, and victims aren't blamed. Jason is a manipulator. That's what he does. You got out because you're strong. Many people can't. But getting out was just the beginning. Now Sarah had to rebuild. First task was getting her accounts back. Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Sam and Lisa worked together. Identity verification, legal documents, claim of unauthorized access by Jason. It took 2 weeks, but finally, the accounts transferred to Sarah's control. She changed the passwords. Jason could no longer access them. Second task was financial. $2.7 million in Torres Media Management LLC, money that was rightfully Sarah's. Lisa filed a lawsuit. Illegal financial control, financial abuse, false partnership representation. Illinois law was clear. Sarah's earnings belonged to Sarah. Jason could only act as manager, not owner. The trial lasted 4 months. Jason and his lawyers defended. Sarah signed. It was agreements. It was a business partnership. But Sam's financial records were clear. Out of $2.7 million, Sarah had only seen $180,000. Over 5 years, $3,000 per month, the spending money Jason gave her. The judge ruled Jason would pay Sarah $2.1 million immediately. Additionally, 3 years probation for cyber-stalking, restraining order violation, and financial manipulation. Sarah cried in the courtroom. But this time, they were tears of happiness. 5 years. After 5 years, she was finally free. And not just free, financially independent. But the most important change was in Sarah herself. But rebuilding wasn't as easy as anyone thought. Because escaping Jason was different from escaping her own shadow. 3 months after leaving Jason, Sarah still struggled to sleep at night. Every time her phone rang, her heart raced. She thought every shadow on the street was Jason. Every Instagram comment, every message made her want to check. What if it's Jason, she'd think. What if he finds me? Marcus Chen explained these were PTSD symptoms. Trauma forms even without physical violence, Sarah. Psychological abuse leaves deep marks on the brain. But you can heal. It takes time, but you will heal. Patricia held regular therapy sessions. You need to make peace with yourself. Jason controlled you, but now you're in control. You decide how to live your life. Emily was there every day. I knew you 5 years ago, Emily said one day. That strong, confident, joyful Sarah. Jason tried to destroy her, but you're still there. You just need to find yourself again. And Sarah, slowly, found herself again. The first step was returning to social media. But this time differently. No more Jason's control, no script. Sarah would be real. Her first video, she posted trembling. Hi, I'm Sarah, and for the past 5 years, I've been lying. The video was 18 minutes long. Sarah told everything. Jason's control, isolation, financial abuse, tracking apps. How she escaped. How dark case files helped. Patricia's comment. Everything. If you're in a similar situation, Sarah said through tears, please know you're not alone. Help is available. There's a way out. And most importantly, you deserve it. You deserve freedom. The video got 12 million views in 24 hours. The comments made Sarah cry. Hundreds, thousands of women shared their own stories. This happened to me too. My boyfriend controls my phone too. I can't leave either because I have no money. Sarah wasn't alone, and her story was helping millions of people. Dark Case Files released Sarah's case as a full documentary. Hidden Abuse, How Social Media Became a Control Tool. The 45-minute video examined coercive control, financial abuse, and digital stalking in depth. David Harrington spoke on camera. This case showed us that abuse isn't always physical. Sometimes the most dangerous violence is the violence we can't see. Psychological control, financial dependency, digital surveillance, these are chains but invisible, Elena Cortez added. And the scariest part is, it all happened in public. 800,000 people watched but nobody saw. because Jason was hiding it skillfully. Videos looked perfect, but the details, those small moments, showed the truth. Marcus Chen gave the psychological explanation. Coercive control slowly isolates the victim, breaks their confidence, makes them dependent. And the most dangerous part is, the victim may not realize it. It becomes normalized. Maybe he's right. Maybe I'm sensitive, they think. But no, abuse is never normal. At the end of the video was Patricia Chen's message. If someone around you is showing these signs, controlling your phone, managing your money, isolating you from friends, making decisions for you, please ask for help. You're not alone. And at the end of the video, a list: domestic violence hotlines, counseling services, legal aid resources. Because dark case files didn't just solve cases, they saved people. 6 months after her freedom, Sarah did something new. She founded an organization, Hidden Voices, support organization for domestic violence and abuse for influencers and content creators. The social media industry is young, Sarah said at the foundation launch. Many of us enter this business in our 20s, inexperienced, vulnerable, and sometimes the person who comes as a manager, stays as a partner, is actually a controller. But we can't say it, because influencer problems seem trivial. You're rich, you're famous, what's your problem, they say. But abuse is abuse, whether you're rich or poor, famous or anonymous. Hidden Voices helped 200+ content creators in its first year. Legal consulting, psychological support, financial planning, digital security, everything, and most importantly, a safe community. The message: you're not alone. Emily became co-founder of the foundation. I lost my friend for 5 years, Emily said. No one else should disappear like that. No one else should suffer in silence. Patricia Chen became a volunteer counselor at the foundation. That comment changed Sarah's life. But how many Sarahs are suffering without ever getting a comment? We need to find them. And dark case files. The team continued tracking social media abuse cases, documenting the dark side of influencer culture, creating awareness, protecting people. David Harrington said in an interview, "We look for murders, robberies, missing persons, but sometimes the most important cases are the ones where there's no murder, because the victim is still alive, still savable." And Sarah's case showed us that one comment, one message, one reaching out can save a life. Jason Torres. His 3-year probation ended, but his career was over. He had 800,000 followers, now 12,000. Sponsors dropped him. Brand deals were cancelled. And worst of all, he had a legacy that would stay on the internet forever. Abusive influencer. In an interview he said, "I just loved her. Maybe I was too protective, but I didn't abuse." But the comments contradicted him. Hundreds of people showing evidence from videos. Here you're taking the phone. Here you're silencing her. Here you're gaslighting. Jason didn't learn. Maybe he never will. But Sarah learned. She'd been lost for 5 years, but now she'd found herself again. Stronger, more confident, freer. 1 year later, Sarah posted a new video. 1 year of freedom. What I learned. Freedom isn't easy, Sarah said. The first months I was afraid. I'd forgotten how to make my own decisions. Jason had decided everything for 5 years. I didn't even know what to wear, what to eat, who to talk to. The first time I went to the grocery store alone, I spent 20 minutes thinking about buying canned soup. Would Jason like this? I thought. Then I stopped. Jason's gone. What do I like? I bought the soup. Jason wouldn't have liked it, but I did. And in that moment, I understood what freedom is. Small, simple, your own decisions. Sarah smiled. A real smile. The first real smile in 5 years. If you're in this situation, leave. If you don't know how, ask for help. There are people like Patricia Chen, teams like Dark Case Files, friends like Emily, and survivors like me waiting on the other side. You're not alone, and you deserve it. You deserve every happiness. The video ended. Comments started coming in. Thousands. Thank you, Sarah. You saved me. Today I'm leaving. I got courage from your story. And Sarah knew. Her pain, her 5 years, her trauma, it had all gained meaning because her story was saving others. This was Dark Case Files' mission. Not just solving cases, saving people, providing justice, and giving voice to forgotten voices. Sarah Mitchell's voice had been forgotten for 5 years, but now it was being heard, loud and clear, and it was creating change, because sometimes the most powerful weapon is a comment. It's reaching out. It's an "I see what's happening" message. Dr. Patricia Chen smiled as she turned off her phone that night. She'd helped thousands of people in her 20-year career. But Sarah's story was special because it didn't just save Sarah, it saved millions of Sarahs. And it all started with one comment. "Sarah, if you need help, DM me. I'm a counselor. I see what's happening." Sometimes seeing is enough, but sometimes speaking up is necessary too. And Patricia spoke up. Sarah's story ended happily. But how many stories continue silently? How many Sarahs are right now in a video, smiling while screaming inside? Dark Case Files asks you, do you see? Do you notice the Sarahs around you? Because maybe you too need to leave a comment, send a message, say, "I see." This story ended for Sarah Mitchell. But your story, maybe it's just beginning.